Now, beautiful people, you don't have to believe me when I say that you can make new jack swing with just one legendary VST, but this video is gonna convince you that sometimes one legendary VST is all you need to make some new jack swing. Let's go! So which VST am I talking about? I'm talking about the Korg Triton. You know, that one VST that I've been featuring a lot in previous videos. Now, in the first new jack swing video I did, I used the Korg M1, and that VST is goated as well. But I gave the Korg Triton a spin, and wow, it has been amazing. So we're sticking to that one and only that one for this video. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through all the decisions I made in terms of sound selections. Which sounds did I choose and why did I choose them? How do I feel they contribute? What kind of vibe do you get from them? Then we're going a little bit in depth about my choice of drums and my percussions, and then we're just gonna finish it with a dope beat, beautiful folks. So the Korg Triton is definitely up there in the upper echelon of goated synths, and your favorite R&B producer has one, has touched one, has used one, or is aware of the fact that a lot of the sounds in that thing are still holding up today. And that's why I love giving that baby a spin, you feel me? So I'm using 6 instances of the Korg Triton. I'm using one for an electric piano, I'm using one for a regular acoustic piano, I'm using a patch for strings, for a synth, for a bass line, and some horns. You can see I'm using 6 instances of the Korg Triton, and the rest is just all drums from that new jack swing drum kit that I posted in the previous video, and I'll post the link again. So the first patch that I'm using is this sweeping electric piano patch from the Korg Triton. I really liked it because of the effects on it, especially the phaser effect and the chorus red play. I feel that it really exudes this kind of very airy feeling and really puts me at ease. It's relaxing, and I kind of like the phasing effect. I really like it, so that's why I decided to go with it. After that, I decided to supplement it with some piano. I feel that this piano adds a really classic late 90s kind of brightness. You really have to hear the piano in context. I'm gonna play it for y'all. Just hold up real quick. If we look at it from a contemporary lens, it would be viewed as cheap, but that's exactly the sheen that I go for. This is one of those pianos you really hear it in dance, in jungles, a little bit in garage, you know. I really liked it. So after that, I decided to supplement that baby with some strings. The reason why I decided to go for strings, and specifically synth strings, is to really add, I really wanted to feel grand. I wanted it to feel big, and I feel that adding strings adds a layer of drama and expressiveness that's really important, especially if you're going for like a big layer of sound for your R&B sample. So that's why I decided to go for these strings right here. Just perfect. Now, in retrospect, I'm actually not too sure about this synth patch, but there's a reason that I chose it, and that's because I really love the brightness that I had. You know, it sounds very smooth. It's a very well, it's just perfect for a lead and some accents, and that's exactly what I play with it. And synths are, of course, you know, like actual synth sounds, like synthesized sounds, like saw waveforms, triangle, pulses, and signs, like stuff like that, were heavily featured in new jack swing. So there's no reason not to want to use them. This is what that sounds like. So something that's fulfilling the same function as the synth is actually the horns patch. Now, I feel that horns, I purposely use this trumpet ensemble in order to really lead into my hook, to really give it the feeling like, boom, this is the hook. This is where we're starting. I wanted something like it feels like a triumph. It feels enthusiastic. It really kicks it off. It's a big accent. So that's why I'm not playing too many notes. You actually see them at the beginning of each bar and they sound like this. And then to top it off with, of course, a smooth bass patch just like this one. I am very partial to forms of slap bass for New Jack Swing beats. I think that if you want to play like melodies, like have a really interactive melodic kind of bass line, I feel like a slap bass allows you to do that well. That's my sound selection in a, not exactly a nutshell, but still. So before we head any further, I feel like we should get into the chord progression. I feel like I owe y'all that since that's a staple of my videos. So let's head into the chord progression right here. You can actually see I'm starting off with a regular schmegular G sharp major 7 chord right here, and that drops down to an F minor 7 chord right here. What you can actually see is that I'm repeating that F minor 7, but I voiced it with the 5th in the bass, and I voiced it with an extra A sharp. Allows it to transition nicely into the C minor 7 chord right here. That completes the first phrase. You can actually see that I'm repeating the phrase, but here I am adding a sharp dominant 7 chord right here, and I'm rocking with a D sharp major 6 chord right here, or just an inverted C minor 7 chord right here. And I decided to top it off with a little passage right here, which I feel is really like a climax, because you have the chord progression repeating 1, 2, 3 times, and I felt like the fourth time should be a little different, really works towards a climax. So that's why I'm introducing this little thing right here. You can actually see here everything's building up to it, and then it really, I don't really know how to put it into words, but I like it. It's a good variation, and it really adds another layer of, you know, expressiveness to the beat. It's dope. Let's just keep it at that. It's dope. So let me just introduce you to the entire thing layer by layer, and you can see or hear for yourself what it sounds like all together. Okay, so let's talk drums. Now the basis is actually a relatively vanilla drum beat, which sounds like this. Now I feel that if you're trying to emulate sounds from the past, you really gotta make sure that you have the aesthetic right. So that means finding the drum sounds that were actually used in the past. And that's why I have this collection of drum kits which feature a lot of amazing New Jack Swing sounds, which have been curated over the years probably. But I feel that New Jack Swing patterns, especially since it's swing we're trying to go for, are very much defined by what's happening in between. So that's why I decided to add these little perks right here. Let me just mute the beat. That really adds another element of depth to your beats, and this doesn't just apply to New Jack Swing. This applies to beat making in general. You add so much layers of complexity to your drum bounce if you just, you know, focus more on putting some perks in between. You know, it's really sweet like that. So that's what I got, and I'm very generous with the drum layers because I really wanted to get that energy going on. So this is what happens when I add the rest of these perks. And one of the elements that I love the most is actually that scratch effect which you're hearing here. I really like it. It really, because beats back in the day, they used to incorporate these scratch sound effects, and I think it really adds a layer of 90s, 80s, early 2000s authenticity if you add it to that. It's just you gotta, especially if you're going for nostalgia, you gotta add as much elements that harken back to the past as you can without cluttering it. And I think that I did well without cluttering it. So let me just play y'all the drum groove again. So I decided to do something cute for like the intro. I decided to take that scratch sound effect and I decided to just use it for my intro. So I took it, I placed it, I chopped it up just a little bit. I added, the toms and the other perks that really give it some energy. And that's how I got this little intro right here. This is as 90s, as New Jack swingy as it gets. So, I'm super proud of this beat, y'all. Boom, and with all that being said and done, beautiful people, I hope y'all enjoyed this breakdown of what is easily my favorite New Jack Swing beat. I only have two, but I'm going to be making so much more because this one was such a success. I do hope you enjoyed the breakdown. I do hope it was educational or entertaining or both for you. And I hope to see y'all in the next video. And remember, if you enjoy the stuff, if you fuck with the stuff I'm doing, like, share, and subscribe. Want to tell all your friends, feel me. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Peace.